Hi there, welcome to Lamlam's audiobook novel channel. Today's story is titled, The CEO's Maid. Chapter 11. Echoes of the Past. The glow from Damien's desk lamp cast long shadows across the room. The estate had gone quiet, resting beneath the lull of midnight. But Damien was wide awake, his eyes fixed on the flickering surveillance footage on his laptop screen. His fingers drummed against the edge of the desk, pausing on a still frame taken from the night he was pulled from the river. He had looked almost lifeless in the image, his soaked clothes clinging to him, his skin pale, and his mouth slightly open like he was gasping for air. Next to him was the blurry silhouette of the girl who saved him. Her face hadn't been captured clearly, only her hair wild and damp, and the faint glint of her eyes. Damien leaned back, exhaling slowly. The night of the incident had always haunted him, not because he feared death, but because of the way life had found its way back into him. He remembered the hands, small, trembling but sure. He remembered the breath of life, the voice that told him to hold on. And now, when he heard Emily speak, it echoed faintly with that same voice. He hadn't wanted to believe it, but everything, her reaction at the gala, her lies on the resume, the desperation in her eyes, pointed in one direction. He opened a drawer and retrieved an old article printed the week after the rescue. Heiress son pulled from river by unknown Samaritan, the headline read. No photo of the girl. No name. Just a vague description and a comment from a fisherman who claimed to see a teenage girl in wet clothes running toward the road. Damien stared at the article. His thumb brushed over the grainy image of himself. His chest tightened. "It was you, wasn't it?" he murmured into the quiet. Across the mansion, in the dim warmth of the servant quarters, Emily crouched by her small window, clutching her phone to her ear. "Yes, Mama, I sent what I could last week. I promise I'll send more by Friday." Her mother's voice was strained, heavy with worry. "The medicine is getting more expensive. The doctor said we might have to move your father to a bigger hospital if his breathing doesn't improve." Emily's throat tightened. "Please just hold on a little longer. I'll talk to someone. Maybe I can find extra work or get an advance." Her mother didn't respond for a moment. Then softly, "I just hate that you had to leave, Emily. You've carried so much alone." Emily blinked quickly, wiping away a tear. "He would have done the same for me. I couldn't stay and let people talk, Mama. I couldn't let them say I abandoned him. You know I didn't." "We know," her mother said, gentle but tired. "But not everyone sees it that way." Emily ended the call and placed her phone on the nightstand. She curled into her blanket, but sleep refused her once again. Every day the pressure mounted, between the lie she lived in Damien's house and the truth she carried from the riverbank that night. The next morning, Damien stepped into the sitting room where Cassandra was rearranging a flower vase with sharp precision. He watched her for a moment before speaking. "You were the one who passed Emily's resume to Vanessa." Cassandra looked up, feigning innocence. "Excuse me. You're the only one who had access, and the only one petty enough to find satisfaction in watching her squirm." Cassandra's eyes narrowed. "She lied to you. I just helped bring that to light." He stepped closer. "Let's not play games. If you're planning something with Vanessa, I suggest you tread carefully." "She's your ex," Cassandra snapped, dropping the pretense. "I thought you'd appreciate the warning. Or have you started caring about the maid more than you let on?" Damien didn't answer. He just turned and left, the silence of his departure louder than any argument. Later that evening, Damien crossed paths with Emily on the garden path. She was carrying a tray of lemon water from the patio. They both stopped, unsure who should move first. Emily lowered her eyes. "Excuse me, sir." He didn't respond immediately. Instead he asked, "What made you apply here?" The question threw her off. She looked up, her lips parting slightly. "I needed the job." "You had other options." "No, I didn't." They stood in the quiet. He took a step forward. Do I remind you of someone? She blinked. What? He looked at her deeply, like searching for something in her soul. You watch me sometimes like you've known me longer than I've known you. Emily's heart pounded. I'm just doing my job. He didn't press further, but his eyes said everything. When he finally walked away, Emily nearly collapsed from the breath she had been holding. That night, Damien stood on his private balcony, the article still in his hand. A cool breeze ruffled the edges as he stared into the night. The girl had never come forward. She had vanished right after the rescue, as if the river had swallowed her story too. Everyone assumed she wanted to avoid attention. Or perhaps she was a runaway, someone with something to hide. But now he realized she hadn't vanished. She had simply become someone else. I knew you looked familiar, he whispered. You've been here all along. He folded the article and placed it gently into a drawer. He wasn't going to confront her yet, not until he was sure. But his instincts rarely lied. And this time they screamed one thing. Emily was the girl who saved his life. Thanks for listening to Lamlam Audiobooks. If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes. New chapters drop every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9 a.m. Stay tuned, because in this story, nothing is ever what it seems. Until next time, keep listening.